I'm the coordinator for the Fire Safe Council of Siskiyou County, and I'm expecting that Jamie Tarn, the president, will pop in and she can take over the lead when she does. In the meantime, we'd like to know who you all are, so, and your contact information. So if you would message Kristen only. The reason we're doing this is we've had hackers and they seem to know how to clone our information if we put it in chat. So just message it to Kristen and she will make note of it in our minutes so that we, and in our email list, so that we can continue staying in contact with all of you. And let's see. Should we go through the list of folks? Do we have time for that? Do you think, Kristen? Should we just talk to them? Well, let's just go. So, Greg, would you introduce yourself? Okay. Greg, could you introduce yourself, please?
Hey, Greg, you might be on
Sorry,
mute.
I was muted. This is Greg Dinger, Mount Shasta West, official geek and in charge of the record button.
He's my favorite geek. All right, Kristen, you're next.
I'm Kristen Norman. I am Giselle's assistant for the Fire Safe Council of Siskiyou County.
And she also does other awesome fire safe work. Marlene.
Hi, I'm Marlene Ludlow, and I'm just here like I try to be every time we have a meeting.
I appreciate you. She's another awesome advocate and a community coordinator in her area. Sally McGregor.
Hi, good afternoon. Sally McGregor, Hammond Ranch.
Good to have you here. Alex Farner.
Hey, Alex Farner with Salmon River Restoration Council and the Salmon River Fire Safe Council.
Good to have you. Chastity Boucher.
Hi, I'm CJ. I am a representative public relations and social media for Rain Rock Casino.
Christian Jordan.
Hi, yeah, Christian. Just community member, West Mount Shasta area, Rainbow Ridge.
All right. And everything's popping around here. Dorinda Thompson.
Hi, I'm out in Gazelle on Gazelle Callahan Road. I'm a community member and my computer skills are very faulty, which is why I miss so many meetings. Plus I have conflicts with book club, but I'm here. I do not know, Kristen, how to message you with my information. I'm on the list because I get the emails, but I have no idea how to message you. I'm also vice president of the Siskiyou Land Trust.
Oh, good to have you.
Wonderful being here. And Dorinda, if you're already on the email list, that's okay. I just
okay.
note of your name in the attendance.
Okay, thank you.
And Gregory Randazzo or Randazzo, how you say that?
It's Randazzo. I think we've met before, actually. I'm a small business owner. I own Wildland Urban Infrastructure. We did that project in Dunsmuir over last summer. And I'm just kind of getting my head in there and kind of jumping into these Fire Safe Council meetings and seeing what I can learn and what I can help with.
All right, good to have you too. Jennifer Erickson.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Erickson. I'm the.
Oh, can't hear you.
Oh no. Okay.
Now you're louder. Just yell, and then we'll be able to hear you.
Okay. I'm the Forest Fire Prevention Officer on the Klamath National Forest.
Welcome, Jen. Joe Bergman.
Wrong button there. Hi, Joe Bergman with the Red Cross. I'm based out of Mount Shasta. You'll hear from Kimberly Baca in a minute. She's my supervisor, but I'm the lead in Mount Shasta for community engagement, which means almost anything we talk to the community is the Red Cross, as well as partnerships.
All right, Kimberly, that's your segue. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'll turn my camera off because I have dogs on the picture. Hi, everyone. This is Kimberly. I'm the disaster program manager for Red Cross in Siskiyou County.
Julie Titus.
Whoops. I'm trying to get there. Okay, sorry. I'm running around trying to get the fire going and everything at once. Julie Titus, I've been working with fire safe councils locally, and for a lot of years I was ex-Forest Service. I retired Forest Service and stepped right into helping communities. And my position in the Forest Service was wildland fire and fuels management, and so I'm continuing to help where I can.
And she does a lot of extra work, and she was her company authored the CWPP for Siskiyou County. Linda Sheben.
Linda Shaven here with the Dunsmuir Community. Actually, we're going to call ourselves the Dunsmuir Firewise Committee. I used to be with the Disaster Planning Group, but now we're doing a separate Fire Safe Firewise Committee.
All right. Did I miss anybody? Christian, did I get you? I think I did, didn't I?
Yeah.
Christian Jordan. Yeah. Okay. And oh, Thule Potts.
Hey y'all, I'm Thule Potts. I'm with the California Sierra Nevada Conservancy, and I actually live in Mount Shasta. So I'm the North Area representative for the 5 northern counties that we represent.
Awesome. Well, welcome again, everybody, and just jump in if I left anybody out. And is there anything else that y'all want to put on the agenda before we get started? If not, we can mention it in the last part of the meeting at the open forum section. So we're gonna, I know that I'm going to change it up a little bit because Happy Camp, Michael needs to go. So if you would, Michael, would you please go ahead and talk about what's going on in Happy Camp?
Hey, thanks everybody. So Michael Hentz with the Mid-Klamath Watershed Council. We help to administer the Happy Camp Fire Safe Council, and MCWC has really grown over the last decade. And we have lots of different programs, and we're continually ramping up our work towards fuels reduction and the reintroduction of fire in a good way in the Klamath Mountains. You know, I want to apologize. I've got a Happy Camp Community Services District meeting pretty much right now at 6. I've got to run slightly across town where we're proposing a fuels reduction and prescribed fire between the River Park and the elementary school. And this kind of is a partner project where we're doing the same thing around the high school. But this year, besides doing kind of our landscape fuels reduction work in some of the larger, more remote properties that we tend to do, we're also going to refocus our efforts on maybe 10 to 20 residential defensible space projects this season. We've got some different types of new funding that gives me some more flexibility. We also just got a brand new Moorbark chipper that we got a grant for, and it took us about 8 months to get it delivered. But keep that in mind, partners out there, that Happy Camp has one, and we would be potentially interested in rolling down the river road or up the river road to assist with chipping efforts, since this is such a shiny, new, beautiful $60,000 chipper. We are always planning for our prescribed fire treks, the training exchange program that can happen in the summer, that can happen in the fall. That's something that's ongoing, but I really am just happy that there's so many good people a part of this whole effort that's so required to help protect our communities and ideally kind of re-engage our relationship with fire over the long term, because of course our forests require it and we can't ignore it. And I just appreciate everyone's efforts. So thanks so much, everyone. And Giselle, I think you muted yourself.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Looking forward to using that chipper in your area. I know it'd be hard to bring it out here, but that's a real wonderful tool. So I'm gonna change it up a bit again, and CJ, I hope you don't mind, but I'm gonna go ahead and ask Brian Shinoni, and I forgot to ask you, Brian, to introduce yourself, but he has some information for us. And if you look at our Facebook, you'll see we have an atmospheric river moving this way, which could be causing some issues. So Brian's going to talk to us about that.
Yes, hi everyone. Brian Shinoni, Siskiyou County Office of Emergency Services. Yeah, so we are mixing it up a little bit this year. So we do have as you have all seen, we have a beautiful snowstorm and the mountains are all covered with snow. But we also have a warm front atmospheric river coming in that's going to push the snow levels up higher. So all of that rain that's coming is going to sit on top of that snow and create some super heavy loads. That's a major concern for us. We've been after this all week. So we've been putting into place some flood protection, sandbag points throughout the county. You'll start seeing those pop up tomorrow. Really important for us to push the messaging on clearing off your roof or anything that you don't want destroyed. So rough estimated about 12 square foot of roof is about 10 to 20 pounds with 12 inches of snow. If you add an inch of rain to that, it'll increase by 5 to 7 pounds pretty dramatically. So that's a major concern for collapsing of roofs. We're also looking in the Dunsmuir area as well. So all those steep mountains alongside of the Box Canyon and up and down the Sacramento River there is a major concern for us as well for flooding, and as well as the Scott Valley. So we have Friday we'll be moving our emergency operations center to a warm status with the potential of an activation over the weekend, and looking to make sure that everyone's staying safe and getting that messaging out. So as a Fire Safe Council, any messaging you can pass or push that the Siskiyou County OES page is pushing, that would be greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Brian. Are there any tips or any information, or is it all on your website that you could share with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So you'll start to see, so Zonehaven has been a great tool for us, and they have moved into the flood realm. So we will be using Zonehaven if that is if we start seeing significant flooding. Additionally, any tips would be making sure that you can get things cleared off. Like I said, if you don't want anything to collapse, that snow load on top of your house is very significant. Also, really being conscious of flowing water over roadways. It's 8 inches can sweep a car away. So being careful of that. No one's in that big of a rush that we want to get some swift water teams to save you out of the river. And that seems really cold right now. So
yeah,
no thank you.
Yeah, no thank you for sure. Anybody have any questions for Brian?
I'm always a bearer of bad news. I apologize for that.
Well, that's kind of the nature of the job. But
yes.
Anyway,
Brian, maybe just a quick overview for anyone who isn't already signed up for Zonehaven, where and how to get signed up for that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Zonehaven, you don't even have to be signed up for Zonehaven. It is automatically out there for the world to see. It's a forward-facing page. So it'd be Zonehaven Aware is an app that you can use on your phone. And by plugging in your address, it will give you your zone. And everyone throughout the county has a zone. Those are going to be the numbers to really coordinate when we push an evacuation through Code Red. So this year we're using Code Red, RAVE, and IPAWS for any evacuation orders. And then all you need to know is your zone. So if it's pushing DUN 1326, then that means Dunsmuir zone 1326 is getting evacuated or pushed into a warning or an order, whatever that might be. So it would just be Zonehaven, and I can put that in the chat as well.
That'd be
sounds good.
Do you have any idea, just out of curiosity, if Shasta County is going to get Zonehaven? We're in Castella, and we're just in the barely in Shasta County. I mean,
Great question.
Yeah, but
yes, so Shasta County was one of the first counties to really want to start to adopt it, and then they decided they want to do it on their own, which I don't understand that. It's Butte County tried this, and it was a complete mess. So I don't know what they're thinking and what they're doing. I have a meeting with them tomorrow, and we're going to have this conversation. But at the very least, that Castella area, that kind of bleeds into our zone. So you'll start to see anything that gets pushed
Right.
farther down will bleed into Siskiyou.
Yeah, I use the closest Dunsmuir zone, but yeah, tell Shasta County to get on the bandwagon.
I know. I don't know why they do not. It's I don't know. I'll keep my opinions to myself on that.
All right, gone. Any more questions? Or almost gone. All right, well, our president, Jamie, has made it to the meeting. And so I'm gonna let her take over, but first I think I'll go ahead and introduce CJ, and she can be talking while Jamie gets her bearings. And then it'll be CAL FIRE after that, Jamie. So CJ, would you tell us about the Worm Burner Golf Tournament and anything else you would like to share?
Absolutely. So my name's CJ Boucher. I run public relations and social media for Rain Rock Casino. And Giselle knows, but a lot of people don't know, my house burnt down in the mill fire. And since I run public relations, I thought I would manipulate my position to better my community. And I came up with the golf tournament. I feel like there's been a lot done for restorative needs have been fulfilled, but I would hate to see this happen to someone else. And so I said, what can we do that would be preventative? I met Larry Kahn from, at the time they were Essential Vegetation Management Services at the Redding Rancheria annual benefit last year. And he said, well, my company actually does preventative services. And we started brainstorming what we could do. And I said, well, what about a fundraiser? And he said, golf tournaments are great. So we came up with the idea of the first annual Worm Burner Golf Tournament. It is going to be on June 2nd. And since then, he is partnered with Redding Rancheria, and they now co-own that organization. They are going to be our title sponsor. They have fronted $10,000. Rain Rock Casino is hosting the tournament. We've put up an upfront fund of $5,000. And Giselle has kind of watched us over the last 6 months put this together, because Rain Rock has supported a bunch of community events and sponsorships, but we have never hosted a fundraiser ourselves. So this is our first actual official fundraiser. All the proceeds are going to go to the Fire Safe Council of Siskiyou County to be dispersed and utilized as they best see fit for our area. We are hoping to see a lot of home hardening and fire breaks and things of that nature. Those kind of services provided with these funds, but we're not the experts on how our homeland should be taken care of. And it's just our hope that we can give some funds that will help prevent these types of things from happening to our communities. I am aware of the project that happened in Dunsmuir last year. Giselle filled me in on that. To date, we just had our meeting. We have a meeting every Wednesday now because the tournament's coming up. As of right now, we've got about $13,000 in sponsorships, not including Rain Rock's contribution. We have several people who have donated raffle items. We are working with the Rancheria to get large live auction items. Our golf tournament has 10 activities. 8 of them are, contributable activities where people can buy into them. And right now we are taking sponsors and donations for raffle items and actually event sponsors through March. We're hoping to know who all is going to be sponsoring by the end of March. And then we will be opening up the remaining teams to the public for open registration on April 1st. Oh, Giselle, you're muted.
Sorry, I'm trying to keep the dog sounds out of the background. But anyway, if anybody wants to donate or participate, please email us and we will give your information to Chastity, and she can send you out everything you need in it, or we can send you out the registration forms as well. Those are coming soon. So anyway, I did, Chastity, talk to one of our masticator contractors today, and he says it's a good idea. He'll give something. He doesn't know what yet. He's going to think about it, but he's in. So
I love it.
yeah. So anyway, so we're moving forward with that. It's a good thing. And anybody have any questions for Chastity?
I just have one. Chastity, first, I'm sorry I'm late. I'm Jamie. I'm the president of
Hi,
the
Jamie.
Fire Safe Council, and the light has freaked me out. I mean, it's lighter later, so I'm not used to that. So I was thinking I just have to wait till dark for the meeting. But anyway, you said for a raffle that you are still looking for donations.
Absolutely. So we, it's a learning curve for us too. So we got our sponsorship and donation letter approved by our board of directors a little bit later in the game. We were, so we're just kind of now starting to source it, but our community is rallying around us. And we have several people who are starting to turn in their sponsorship forms. Sponsors for us are the big one right now, because it's covering everything. And then raffle items we're going to be taking up through probably until the 2nd or 3rd week in April. We'll probably take raffle items. I mean, right up until we say, sorry, we can't house anymore.
Right.
And that's, so the sponsors are going to pay for, you know, the tea signs, for the hors d'oeuvres and drinks that we're going to serve. They'll pay for the team prizes, for the thank you gifts, that sort of a thing. And then where we're going to be generating our income are the raffle items, that we're having a silent auction and a live auction as well. And Reading Rancheria is graciously donating a gun safe full of guns. So we've got a duck hunting excursion. So we are accumulating these larger scale items that will raise the funds for you guys.
Well, I have one to donate. Why I asked that is I have a vacation rental over on the coast. And
oh my gosh.
So I'm happy to donate a several night stay over there.
That is wonderful. Thank you so much.
Well, sure. It's easy for me to do. And usually I have donated this before, and it usually can bring in quite a bit of money. So that would work great. So
that's exciting.
I'll have that information. I'll give it to Giselle to get to you.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jamie. And y'all, anybody else have anything, you're welcome to send over the info to me. So we appreciate you all. And again, these funds will be spread throughout Siskiyou County, focusing on elderly and needy people for home hardening and defensible space. That's what our plan is as of now. Right, Jamie? Or
correct.
Right.
Right on.
And
so
just
anyway,
it's obvious that all these donations are tax deductible since it's to a nonprofit.
Yes.
Correct. Correct.
And excuse me, I'm frog in my throat. Sportsman Den said they'll do something too. I talked to them today. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. You guys are on it.
Oh yeah. So anyway, any more questions for Chastity?
Oh, Jen Erickson wondering, like we all did, where does the term worm burner come from? What does it mean?
Worm burner is a golf term, and I'm not familiar with golf either. I know it's like a ball that like gets stuck in the grass. It like you hit it so hard and so fast it like supposedly burns the grass. It's actually like a golf term, and so it was the only golf term that was semi-fire related, and hence, you know, the logo with the golf ball on fire coming towards the worm.
All right.
This is Joe. I'm a really bad golfer, and worm burner is when you hit a drive and it just skims the surface of the grass. You really get no air out of it. And so the idea is if there's any worms sticking their heads up, you're gonna burn them.
Oh.
There you
I did that quite a bit.
go. We should come up with a logo that CJ just described, the golf ball on fire hitting a poor worm. Anyway.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All righty, Jamie, you're on, starting with CAL FIRE update.
Okay, and again, I apologize for being late, everyone. So we're up to CAL FIRE. So just catching up on the names. Who's here from CAL FIRE? No, no one?
Nobody.
I thought Susie was coming. Nope, she's not.
I
here.
don't see anybody. Wow. I think that's a first.
Yeah, unusual. Yeah.
And Brian, it's nice to hear you again. Welcome back to our meetings.
Thank you. It's good to be back. Thank you.
Okay, so Forest Service update. Did I see Jen? Are you here with us?
You have to talk loud, Jen. We can't hear you.
You're muted.
I don't think she's muted. There's some kind of other issue. Yeah, we can't hear you.
Nothing. Last time we could hear you faintly, but now there's nothing. No.
Should we come back to her? Keep
Yeah.
working on it and we'll come back to you. Yeah.
Keep trying, Jen. All right, then we have this, well, I assume, Brian, did you already do your Siskiyou County OES update?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we had him go first because he
First.
had some important information to share.
Okay. And then Supervisor Nancy Ogren, is Nancy with us tonight?
No, but Nancy said she was going to try, but in the event that she couldn't make it, she gave me a couple of lines. She said
Okay.
they've submitted 2 letters of support for CAL grant applications this week. One to the Cal RCD for the Outson Road project, fuels reduction project in Wairika, and one to the city of Wairika for wildfire prevention and equipment purchases for fuel hazard prevention, including an air curtain burner. That looks like the city of Wairika will be applying for, and the County Board of Supervisors is supporting that. So, all right, that's from her.
Okay, thank you. An air curtain burner that the city of Wairika is looking at that. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then do we have anybody from the Prescribed Burn Association here tonight?
Yeah. Sorry, my lighting is crazy.
Yeah, mine too tonight.
Hi everyone, my name is Delphine Griffith. I work with the Siskiyou Prescribed Burn Association. A couple updates. The main one is that we have a prescribed burn pile burning workshop on March 18th. So not this Friday, but next, or not this Saturday, but next Saturday, from 9 to 4. I'll put the link to register in the chat. And it's for anyone and everyone to come and learn more about pile burning, permits, people from CAL FIRE, and the air quality will be there to talk a little bit more. It'll be focused on like semi-larger scale pile burning, not just like your little residential burn pile behind your house, but anyone with any needs will be welcome, and we're excited to have everybody. So that's going to be next Saturday, March 18th. Let's see, we have a couple updates from our projects in general. We have a Siskiyou collaborative mapping project that is hitting the ground running and hosting orientation meetings for agencies and communities. And we're going to be doing more of that in the next couple months as well. We're applying for grants, the prevention grant through CAL FIRE to focus on a demonstration forest down in Mount Shasta area, and to continue development of the PBA. And we are also continuing to engage, always and forever, continuing to engage landowners, anyone who is interested in writing a burn plan for their property and getting good fire back on the ground. So feel free to reach out to us if that is you as well. So I think that's our updates for now, but looking forward to burning with you all at some point in the near future.
Great, thank you, Delphine. Just so I make sure, was there any questions for Delphine? Okay.
Oh, sorry, I took a minute to get off mute. This is Sally McGregor. Can you just make sure that you put the link for that that workshop in the chat, please, Delphine?
Yes, I'm just about to do
Thanks.
that. Yeah.
Awesome, thanks.
And feel free to forward this to your friends and neighbors and networks and stuff.
Okay, great, thank you. NRCS update, James Patterson, is James here?
No, he's not here. The
Okay.
next two are not here.
Okay, Eric is not here then, and no sheriff's update. Is Todd here for Pacific Power?
No, he's not, but I just wanted to announce that we will be having a wildfire advisory board meeting with PPNL in April. And that board will talk about emergency power shutoffs and wildfire issues. And so the Fire Safe Council is part of that board. So we get to input. If you have anything you'd like to talk about, feel free, and I will bring it up at the meeting. Message me or whatever, and we'll talk about it. That's not until April 20th, but it's our opportunity to sound out to PPNL.
I'm sure they're really busy the last few weeks, months.
Right.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right.
I guess we could also, I don't know if we've ever announced that we got a little mini grant from Pack Power. Have we ever mentioned that? Like we have. So it's just a $5,000 grant, but we are going to be putting together 50 go bags with like nice, high-end fancy stuff in them throughout Siskiyou County, focusing on low-income elderly residents and communities.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Let me see, where are we at now? Scott River Watershed Council. CHP update, nothing. We should probably make a point of contacting them directly and see if they still want to be involved.
Yes, I'll make a point of that, Kristen, in the notes, and I'll start giving them calls, see what the dealio is, because they used to attend, all of these people. Okay.
Okay, Siskiyou County Natural Resources update. Stevens Wyden amendment funding update.
Well, we have a couple of Stevens grants here in South County, and one in Bray that we're about to finish signing the grants agreements on. And I don't know if anybody else has any. I think the funding was open, but may now be closed. Our fire planner guy here is new, and he didn't know what was going on, so we didn't get the information, and I think it might be too late. But contact your local forest, and I don't know, Jen might know if Stevens is open for the Klamath. Do you know, Jen, if this? Oh, she can't talk to us.
Well, she just texted saying she called in on her phone. That must be her phone number that's there. Can you jump on now, Jen? Bummer. Yeah,
yeah. So I don't know what the Klamath National Forest has, because it's by forest. I think The Shasta Trinity has closed. You can probably still submit and hope that it gets in by default, but I don't know. And again, I don't know what's going on with the Klamath.
There's no one in the waiting room, is there? I don't think
No,
I.
no. Let me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Hey, can you guys hear me now?
Oh, we can. There she is.
Oh my gosh, so frustrating.
Yeah.
Apologies, and I don't have anything to add on the Stevens stuff. Sorry.
Okay.
Do you want to go ahead and give us your update?
I would love to. Thank you so much. One of these days I'll figure out, I guess, all of this technology. I thought I had it dialed by now. So here on the Klamath National Forest, we are continuing to hire. It seems like it's an ongoing process to hire fire and non-fire folks. But we had great success at some in-person hiring events in Fresno and Redding, where we were able to pick people up directly for fire jobs. So we picked up 30 people for this fire season, and we're really excited about that. This is not in any order. I will say I'm going to talk about the priority landscape at the end because it's kind of the longest thing. The Siskiyou County RAC is back on the Klamath National Forest. I think you guys probably know that. I just wanted to give an update. Right now, it does not have enough committed members to be able to have meetings. We have 7 or 8 vacant seats there. So the next step is to recruit replacements. Anyone who's interested can contact myself or Kimberly Duvall, our public affairs officer. There's 3 categories of folks that build a RAC board, and we have vacant seats in all 3 categories. And if you visit our website, and I would put it in the chat, but I can't. If you go to the RAC part of the Klamath National Forest website, you can see where those vacancies are. So a press release will be coming out at some point advertising those vacancies, but until we get those filled, we can't really do anything with RAC. And my understanding is there is some money in there. So anyway, more to come on that. As far as pile burning is concerned, snow is really impairing our ability to get to a lot of our pile burning projects. Prior to all of this wonderful, wonderful snow coming in, we got about 800 acres of piles burned, and we had hoped to be further along by now, but these low snow levels have really put a damper on things. But the snow is wonderful. The goose nest might be burning this week when they can. They're going to try and get some access to some piles out there. And then there are some piles north of Wairika here on the Craggy project that the Oak Knoll folks are hoping to get out of, or out to. And when we burn those, they're pretty high visibility. So we try to make sure to put stuff out on Facebook and let folks know what's going on. So other than that, people are getting ready to for the spring underburn season. So they're working on getting their plans already. We got an excavator with a masticator head here on the Klamath National Forest, which we're pretty excited about. It was recently up Beaver Creek, north of the Klamath River community. So you'll probably be seeing that thing around. I think it's right now just being used for some roadside fuels reduction. We have a new helicopter configuration here on the Klamath. Previously, we had a helicopter out of Happy Camp and one out of Fort Jones in Scott Valley. Now we're going to have 2 Type 3 helicopters in Scott Valley. Happy Camp won't have a permanent helicopter there anymore, but we'll have the ability to, send one over there to stage if needed. One really exciting thing about this, the changes here, is that we're looking to get at least one of our ships short haul qualified by 2024. So that's great news for our rugged landscape here. More to come on that, but they're actively pursuing that qualification. The Siskiyou tanker base will be operational this fire season. Last year, we had to bring in a mobile retardant base, which worked just fine. But the tanks needed some updating and some cleaning. So its normal retardant system will be up and running for the 2023 fire season. And now I'm at the Klamath Basin Priority Landscape. Does anybody have questions before I go into that?
Yeah, Jennifer, you might want to explain to some people what short haul means. Some people probably don't know.
Oh, thank you, Jamie. So short haul, it enables, so if someone is injured or marooned somewhere, a helicopter can come and hover and hook up to a person and kind of just fly with them on a tether and get them out of an area. So that's great for places where you cannot land helicopters, which we have got a ton of here on the Klamath. And it makes a huge difference when there are folks who have injuries. And if they're, there's this 1 hour window that, there's all the kinds of research that shows that people have the greatest likelihood of surviving certain kinds of incidents that are common with firefighters. And really, without that short haul aircraft or without the ability to land a helicopter, it really diminishes that potential for getting folks care within an hour. So it's a big deal for the firefighting community here, and for all any of not just Forest Service. It's going to be I think a big thing. So does that make sense?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so the Klamath Basin Priority Landscape, and so I missed last month's meeting, and I'm sorry. I don't know if you guys have already been briefed on this from the Shasta Trinity.
No.
Okay. So the Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill and the Inflation Reduction Act provided a whole bunch of funding that was designated to allow the Forest Service to ramp up implementation of fuels reduction projects. So there were, last spring, 10 landscapes were rolled out, and this January, 11 additional landscapes were rolled out, one of which is the Klamath Basin Priority Landscape. And so it's essentially any of the lands that kind of flow into the Klamath River. It encompasses the whole of the Klamath National Forest, but it also reaches out into the Shasta Trinity, the Six Rivers, the Modoc National Forest, and the Fremont Wainema up in Oregon. But like I said, the entire Klamath National Forest is covered by this. So what does this mean? We have a few high-risk fire sheds, which were identified here in Siskiyou County. And for fiscal 23, there has been $34 million roughly that came as part of receiving this designation as a priority landscape. Now, that funding is to be shared between the forests, but this is also part of kind of the beginning of a 10-year trip. So we anticipate more funding coming out for the Klamath section or part of that money. We requested funding for any of our shovel-ready projects, all of our program of work for fiscal 23, that we could get funding for that, and then from there focus on out-year planning, which is a really big effort. So we've stood up a team, not an IMT, but kind of loosely, which is an incident management team, like the people who come and manage our fires. It's a tried and true method of organizing complicated things. So we're using that model, only, we're having subject matter experts like foresters and fuels reduction folks and some public affairs officers to kind of build out a plan for how we're going to implement this moving forward. So the Klamath Basin is 10 million acres. The landscape is 10 million acres. I believe it's the largest of the 21 landscapes across the nation that have been identified. And one of the biggest emphases on with this effort is that we coordinate very closely and collaborate and emphasize our partnerships with the federal, state, county, tribal governments, and private landowners and nonprofits, and of course, fire safe councils. So I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for us to get some good stuff done. It's really early for us, so I don't have much more to share, but there should be some more public outreach coming out soon. And we will have a section on the Klamath National Forest website dedicated to the Klamath Basin priority landscape. It's exciting. It's we're a lot of money, and there's expectation of a lot of acres of treatment, which is what is needed. And we're really looking to utilize every tool that we have to get that work done, because we know we don't have enough people within the Forest Service to get it done. So that's where we're at. It's exciting, and I'm open to questions. I might not be able to answer them now, but I'll work on finding something if I can't answer it.
I'd like to ask a question. So this money is coming from the federal government?
Yes, it was identified within the Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill and the Inflation Reduction Act.
Oh, that's great.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Bipartisan even. That's wonderful.
Yeah, unusual. Very good. Julie has her hand up.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Go. Okay, yeah, Jennifer, this is great. Question for you. How are, and you said also Shasta T, and you mentioned Six Rivers. And I have a question for you regarding how have they prioritized identifying the priority? Did they utilize it, for instance, the hazard ratings, basically, the hazard zones, like the big red, orange, yellow, whatever across the landscapes, that the state, we used it in all of the CWPP work,
Right.
I'm curious if they're utilizing that as they look at the landscapes to prioritize the more extreme situations that have not burned at all, some of them in 80 to 100 years. Are they looking at some of that and the modeling and that as they prioritize?
Okay, in short, I don't have an answer to directly address that. They used, best available science is what's in the write-ups and data. So hopefully they utilize some of the good work that's been done to identify these things called fire sheds, which I've heard that term thrown around before, but I've never really understood it. And I still think it's kind of squishy, but a fire shed is about 250,000 acres, and they're looking at a fire shed as a landscape in which, I'm reading now, a landscape in which fire ignition can spread and expose communities to wildfire. I know one of the other things that drove or had areas rise to the top was underserved communities, places that had a lot of infrastructure. And so really what's interesting, and what I'm going to do after I'm done with my update is I'll hop back on Zoom and I'll put a couple links in the chat for folks to look at.
That's good.
Yes.
They actually did this whole, had a whole cadre go around to do fire shed analysis work, assessment, they called it, across a bunch of forests. I was actually part of helping out on the Shasta T on that. And it's kind of like a watershed, as a watershed, it's a big area where all the water comes down. Well, the fire shed is sort of like a delineation of how far the fire would burn on that landscape. So it's similar. And
Okay.
it's a great way to do it, but I'm curious, if they're utilizing the high, moderate, low ratings that are given for areas susceptibility to extreme fire behavior as they look at it. Hopefully so. So anyway, thanks.
Yeah, thanks for the question. Sorry, I
I-
couldn't give you a better answer.
Jen, is the IMT going to be put together by locals, or are you bringing in outside people on details?
So it's, I hesitate to use the term IMT because that sounds very formal. And this is just kind of loosely based on IMT design.
Right, I understand.
We have like some ADs coming in. We have some folks from all of the forests, subject matter experts that, their new priority has been, you will be dedicated to this priority landscape. So that team is comprised of people representing all the different forests. But anything and anybody who that we can bring in that has something to bring to the table, like the AD thing is going to be a big thing for us. We're using retirees who have relationships with people that are in our communities here. And and of course, they're looking to hire folks, but we know that we already are struggling to fill our vacant positions, even without this priority landscape designation.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
All right, is that it then for you? For updates?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, so we're trying to.
May I
Yes.
interject here?
Yes.
I meant to put her on there, but Sierra Nevada Conservancy, Tuli Potts, we need an update from her as well.
Okay, this would be a good time to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I actually have a follow-up question for Jen, if you have a second. I just was curious what the term of the work and funding is and what that expectation is for rolling out that work.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Oh, I just was curious, like what the term is as far as like the expectation for completing the work under this funding for the priority landscape. Is there one?
I think it's a complicated answer.
Okay, no worries. I can dive into it later.
Because it's federal funding. We don't know how things are going to change as different presidents come and go. But what we're looking at is a 10-year plan, essentially. So that's what I know. Yep.
Excellent. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, just quickly updates from the Sierra Nevada Conservancy. Let's see, we had our watershed improvement program summit last week, as well as our quarterly board meeting. We were able to fund a number of wildfire recovery and forest resilience projects across our region. One of the ones closest to home is a 4,000 acre project in the Medicine Lake caldera. So we're funding the Pitt River RCD and the Modoc National Forest to do a bunch of forest resilience work in the caldera. So it'll protect the homes, the cabins that are up there at the lake, protect the recreation resources, ingress, egress, whatnot. In the entire caldera. So that's exciting. And then secondly, I just wanted to let you guys know that we will be running another round of funding this summer through our wildfire recovery and forest resilience funding program. We'll utilize the same guidelines we did last year. If there's any concepts bumping around, feel free to connect with myself and we'll chat more. And that's all.
Okay. Do we have any questions? All right, I have to keep changing my screen, so bear with me here. All right, then Scott River Watershed Council. No, I'm sorry, I passed that one. Mount Shasta Bioregional Ecology Center. And then local fire safe council updates. Let's see a lot of people on here, but we'll go through them. Black Mountain,
Not here.
Butte Valley,
They have a grant to work over in Bray. We're finishing up the last of the paperwork on that.
great. Copco Lake,
Not here.
Dunsmuir.
Yeah, that's me, Linda.
Hi, Linda.
Hi. We're pretty busy here in Dunsmuir. I'm working with Giselle on the Dunsmuir Fuels Mitigation Project, which is one of the CAL FIRE prevention grants. And it's turning out to be a lot of work. And so I'm immersed in the detail of all that. We did a direct mailing to over 900 folks in Dunsmuir and North Castella for both a CEQA only section project and a CEQA plus fuels mitigation. And that's a lot of data and people and folks to connect with. So we're getting ready to do some regular meetings here and doing some public meetings. The other thing I'm working on, I'm working with the Dunsmuir. I'm actually on the board for the for the community resource centers, the South County Community Resource Centers in McLeod, Mount Shasta, and Dunsmuir. And I'm working in particular with them to see if I can, in fact, it looks like that's going to work out where I can use them as a nonprofit to have a more formal fire safe, fire-wise group for Dunsmuir. And then we're working with Ford Family Foundation as well to get some money so I can have hybrid meetings. So I can get the locals to attend our meetings as well as invite all the other cooperators and experts like you all, and of course CAL FIRE and Giselle and others, so they can attend via a Zoom connection, but have a hybrid meeting set up. And right now our Community Resource Center in Dunsmuir is set up for that. So that's what I'm working on. We're going to try to meet on the fourth Thursday of every month. And I think that's going to work out really well. And then we're working with Kristen, of course, on continuing the work that's been done in Dunsmuir in terms of the core group and the FireWise efforts that we want to see continued. Core won't necessarily be coming back to Dunsmuir, but we want to continue improving the capacity in Dunsmuir and possibly working on developing a more FireWise community. And then I'm also working with Nathan Johnston. I don't know if any of you know him, but he's tied in with the foundations, Ford Family, McConnell, as well as Driscoll. And he's really connected he wants to really look at the bigger picture of what we can do in our South County region, as well as in Dunsmuir, to learn from some of the resiliency projects, community forest projects, and perhaps connected to our local economy and jobs. So we're just having these big picture discussions down here and wanting to maybe have a session in the future to talk a little bit more about that. But that's kind of what's been on my plate. And as a volunteer, it's turned into a full-time job for me.
Trust me, I know that situation.
That's about it for us.
Okay, great.
And of course, oh, the one thing I wanted to add, and I can send this to Kristen, but as some of you know, I was involved for 4 years on the Dunsmuir Disaster Planning Advisory Committee. And what we did in October, we sent out a whole resource packet. We did a direct mail to every resident in Dunsmuir, and including the south area of Dunsmuir, on flood risk and all the resources and educational links for them. California does their big flood risk month in October. but there's a lot of FEMA resources, and I'll probably send that to Kristen to see if that's useful for you guys. But I'm feeling pretty good about that now. We did a mass mailing on for Dunsmuir to really look up your properties, go on the FEMA flood risk assessment mapping system, and look at the insurance that you can get, because this river floods South Dunsmuir pretty bad, and we're facing that this year. So I'm feeling good that we got that conversation going. And the other thing I wanted to mention for Chastity is that I will put the word out to see if we can maybe get something for your event, like a restaurant or something for your event. So I'll work on that. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, that'd be great because Chastity was saying at our meeting earlier today, they might put together like a Siskiyou basket full of all kinds of different gift certificates for, hotels, restaurants all throughout Siskiyou County.
Sorry, I had trouble unmuting myself. Thank you so much. That would be wonderful. We've got, so for example, we've got like a Reading Spa Day package, and we're starting to accumulate local donations. Obviously, we want it more centered around our community so that they get some recognition for contributing. And so we've got a couple of boutiques that have donated items, and a few restaurants have made pledges to donate some meal certificates. So I'm hoping to get enough for the individualized areas to do like a stay in Mount Shasta day, or, a visit Wairika day. But if not, we are trying to accumulate enough to do like a Siskiyou package as well.
Excellent.
Okay, great. Thanks, Linda. And yes, you are very busy. All right, then Dunsmuir, Greater Weed.
Not here.
And Hammond Ranch.
Not here.
Happy Camp.
Michael gave his
Hammond's here.
spiel earlier.
There is someone from Hammond Ranch here. Do we?
Yeah.
Oh, Hammond Ranch Fire Safe Council.
Well, it's Sally McGregor, and I'm sort of the only person left.
Okay.
Sorry, Sally. Go ahead. What's going on?
So, Randy Cloco remains in control of the information and the funding for the Dogwood Ridge shaded fuel break project. We don't hear much from him, so we're not really sure what the situation is, but our understanding is that the grant was extended for one more year and may get finished at some point. So we're trying to regroup and reform. It's been a little challenging because a lot of information isn't really shared with the larger community or the HLA board. But we do understand that that grant was extended, and maybe when all the snow melts, we'll have a better idea of what's actually going to happen. We had applied for a similar grant for subsequent years, and my understanding, I just found out last week, was that that was denied, and we're not really sure if it was denied because the other grant was still, being extended or not. But we're trying to get some interested people together to move forward with what is unquestionably the most important community mission for our neighborhood. But it's a challenge. So that's all I have to say.
Well, thank you for pursuing that effort to keep that alive. So it's very important out there.
It is.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Sally, I will email you. We are trying to get Firewise communities started in Siskiyou County.
Oh, I would love that. I can't tell you how many times I brought that up to the board.
Okay. Yeah, I'll talk to Giselle and see, how much we can do to get you off the ground. I actually have quite a few friends from growing up and ski racing and stuff. So a lot of people I know that I can kind of rally to maybe get to a meeting and try to get that Firewise community off the ground up there.
Kristen, that would be wonderful. Thank you. It's actually something like I said, I brought to the board a few times. We it's just, the history of Hammond. It's like, even on critical issues, it's a community that's stunningly challenging to get to come together. But so I'm sort of like the last person standing. So by all means, please email it to me. I will forward it, and maybe it's one thing we could all agree on to focus some energies on. Thanks very much.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, and then the other thing, I'll just mention, because someone else might be interested in this too. I'll email you this information, but the fire adapted communities, they have free trainings for their ambassador program, which Giselle and I did it last year, and it's really an amazing resource. And they have a whole toolkit, a whole giant Google Doc vault with all it's just pretty turnkey for how to do exactly what you're trying to do to kind of re-energize the community around this common goal. And so, yeah, if you just Google the Fire Adapted Communities Network, it's their neighborhood ambassador toolkit program, I believe is what it's called. And they do at least 2 free trainings every year, and probably one coming up like in April or May.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. Fire adapted communities. I'll check that out. And yeah, please send me the Firewise stuff. Cause like I said, I took that to the board over a year or so ago and couldn't get any takers, but maybe it's time to, we have a few actually new young people on the board. Maybe we've got people that are willing to run with it. But anyway, thank you so much. Cause we do, it's it's the most important issue that we face, and we seem to have the least interest in moving ahead with it. So all the help.
Yeah, sometimes it just takes an outside voice, maybe.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'd be happy even if I have to volunteer and come and just do a little 20-minute blurb for your board meeting or something.
Kristen, that'd be great. Thank you so much.
All right.
Hey, this is Brian Shinoni. Sorry to jump in.
Hi, Brian.
Hey,
Go ahead.
could
Go right ahead.
you tie me in on that Firewise? I've been pushing for this for a while, and we'll write a letter of support or whatever we need to do for the on the county side as well.
Oh, awesome. Cool. Great. Yeah, I will
Yep.
definitely include you on that. Yeah, because for a little background info, anyone who wasn't at our meetings last fall, Siskiyou County does not have any Firewise communities yet, and it's actually an anomaly out of all the Northern California, well, all California in general, but especially Northern California counties. We have a lot of fire safe councils that was what was encouraged at the time, and it wasn't really a lot of benefit to having a Firewise community. Until now. In January, the state Department of Insurance has put down a mandate on all insurance companies. They are now legally required to take Firewise community designation into account when they calculate your wildfire risk score, which is what determines your premium rate, whether or not you get dropped. Really important things. So now having Firewise community designation is very beneficial. So we are trying to help community. We're started in Dunsmuir, and we're waiting to get the first community risk assessment done in Dunsmuir to start the first Firewise community there, because CAL FIRE has to get trained up on that process since we haven't done that in our county yet. So we've been waiting to get all the stakeholders scheduled to do that. And so once the ball's rolling here in the county, we're hopeful that it'll really take root. And there's a county, I think it was Monterey County actually, that just started Firewise communities last year as well. And they started 27 in 1 year. So it's inspiring.
All right. Let me see, where are we at? I believe we were at Happy Camp, Horse Creek, Juniper Flat. I didn't see Marjorie in here this evening. Is she here?
No, Margie's not here. But
Okay.
they are completing a CAL FIRE project out there. They've gone quite a ways, and so they're doing good works.
All right, Klamath River, Lake Shastina.
Lake Shastina has a CAL FIRE grant that's very similar to the one going in Dunsmuir, and they're working to, and we've been using, thanks to Linda, been using a lot of her stuff as templates for them, and we're moving forward, and we'll be having a Fire Safe Council meeting actually next Tuesday out there.
Okay. Lower Scott Rivers, not here, McLeod, Mount Shasta area.
Mount Shasta Area Fire Safe Council with the Fire Safe Council of Siskiyou County as their sponsor has 4 projects or 3. We have 2 I-5 in cooperation with Caltrans. One is a fuel mitigation project from Azalea South to the Siskiyou Boulevard in Dunsmuir overpass. So we're clearing up that right away, Caltrans right away. And then the other one is from the Azalea overpass north all the way to Edgewood. It will be a CEQA, and we're going gangbusters on that to get that done. And once that is done, then Caltrans has promised that they will use their crews to clear all of that up. So we're trying to make escape routes so people can get out of town in the event of an emergency of any kind, going south or going north. And then we're proposing this round with CAL FIRE a grant to continue clearing Old Stage Road because it is a service road. All of the on and off ramps connect to that here in South County. In case there's an emergency and they need to use all of the roads, we'll get that one cleaned up as well. And then we have the Eddy project, which is almost all done. It was in a Uplands subdivision. And then we have the Old Stage Road South project that's in a couple of subdivisions, including the resort. And we're working on cleaning those roadways up. And so that's what we're doing here in the Mount Shasta area.
Great, thanks, Giselle. All right, Orleans, Quartz Valley, Salmon River.
We have Salmon River here.
We do.
Hey, I'm here. I just wanted to quickly mention that we have our first in-person meeting in some time on the 22nd of this month at 2 p.m. in Forks.
2 p.m. in Forks.
Yep.
All right. And is that open to the likes of us?
Open to everybody that wants to join, for sure. We'd love to have you.
All right, I'd love to come over. I haven't been over for a while, so I'll see if I can get that in my calendar.
That would be great, Jamie.
Great.
What day is that? This is Brian Schnody. I'd like to try to get over there if I can.
That's on a Wednesday. On the 22nd.
Perfect.
At 2
22nd.
p.m. Yep.
Thanks, sir.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll clear my schedule and try to get over there.
Great. Thank you.
It's at the community hall, Alex?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
Great, that'd be fun. I'd like to see people. All right. Let me see, bring up my list again. Syad and then Wairika.
Anybody from Wairika? I didn't see them.
All right, and Giselle and Kristen, I don't know if you did it before I showed up, but some of the things that we've been working on.
Oh, as the Fire Safe Council of Siskiyou County?
Yeah,
well, I just
us.
mentioned those. We are the fiscal sponsor for Dunsmuir, Lake Shastina, Bray, and Mount Shasta area. So between all of those, it's about 7 projects, fuel reduction projects that we're working on. Oh gosh, I'm trying to think. What else have we been doing, Jamie? Oh, we're going to be going to the Capitol on April 18th. Jamie's going to go with me. We're going to do a Capitol walk to get Fire Safe Council some recognition for their coordinators so we can have full-time county coordinators throughout California. As of now, the coordinators they kind of go by the wayside because they're volunteers, and volunteers get burned out. So this is an opportunity to ask our representatives to help fund county coordinators. And just to rub shoulders and ask questions and talk to our representatives as we will. What else, Jamie?
We've had a couple written a couple letters of support for some projects with FWS Timber Company, and also for the inclusion with the Sierra Nevada Conservancy to include our whole county. And then Giselle did a presentation at the Rotary Club for the Shasta area, Mount Shasta area. And Kristen, any updates you want to give on what you've been working on?
We got board approval, Jamie and our other board members, to purchase the wildfire ready raccoon costume. We're cloning Butte County Fire Safe Council's genius idea of having a wildfire ready raccoon mascot. So we'll be the first county to expand that, and Butte County's really excited. We're really excited. So I'm gonna be ordering that mascot costume. If anyone wants to volunteer to wear it and dance around at any outreach events, we're looking for volunteers to do that. And also we are going to need volunteers at the county fair this year to help run our booth at the in August at the Golden County Fair.
And a change up will be that we're going to go this year with our own booth for fire safe councils. And we can open that up to all the fire safe councils.
Right.
In the past, we've done it with CAL FIRE and the Forest Service in one booth altogether. And we're just going to try going solo this year to get our specific message out. So we don't dilute theirs and they don't dilute ours.
Right. And then I think Julie Titus is gonna be, Julie, are you ready to talk about a couple outreaches on the 29th of April and the 6th of March? I mean, 6th of May?
Yeah, yes. There's the 29th of April is a Saturday, and it's going to be a firescaping sort of a workshop, some hands-on. We did it 2 years ago over at the Spring Hill Nursery, and it had a really big turnout. And so Giselle was asking about it this year, and the Bioregional Ecology Center was also involved. But since it has such a fire and interagency flavor, because we brought people together from different agencies to do some talking too about some of the reasons that we're doing this. So anyway, it's a combined effort, but that will be the 29th. It's going to be at the other nursery. So we have the I'm spacing all of a sudden. Native Ground Nursery is on the south end of town, and that's who's going to host it this year. I'm working with Corey. Corey years ago used to be on an engine crew, so she knows about fire. And anyway, so it's going to be over there, and it'd be probably 10 to 12 roughly, and then people can have a lunch. We're going to see if we can get some lunch, like sandwich things, figured out. We're a little ways off, but we'll get that worked out. But anyway, the cadre, yes, it's a similar cadre interagency cooperation. So that's that event, firescaping. The other event is another one we also had actually last year, and Giselle reached out to me to help coordinate it this year again, because it's interagency, but it's a preparedness, it's fire awareness and preparedness. And it had a really big turnout at COF. And Jessica also is involved, so the Bioregional Center is involved. But again, the Fire Safe Council taking the leads on this one. And I talked with the CAL FIRE chief, couple of the chiefs. They have had so much turnover, but their new training coordinator is Henry Oakes. And I finally talked to him, and they are going to allow us to utilize the Fire Academy building over there at COS. So it's bigger, it's a really good training facility, and then they can bring a couple engines. We'll hopefully get a city engine and a state engine, or some equipment as well. And that was a really good turnout, and a lot of great dialogue and questions through the presentation. So
this will coincide with Wildfire Awareness Week, which is the first week in May. And that's the reason we want to do it. Okay.
Right. It's May 6th, the Saturday. So they're a week apart. They didn't just ended up being that way because the other weekend in April, the 21st, the one we originally picked, it conflicts with Earth Day activities, and I guess there's a lot of activities. So this way we'll get probably more publics, we hope. Yeah. People. And that's it. So more to come. You'll get that. We'll get a flyer made and get all that out and get it on the web and all that. You know, we have time. We'll get that all in. That was it.
All right.
Okay, thank
Well,
you, Julie.
Thank you, Julie.
All right, so we're at that stage of the meeting where just if open forum or any action items for next month. So any action items?
This is Joe Bergman from Red
Hi,
Cross.
Joe.
Maybe if I could say a few words.
Yes, you
Actually
can,
ties in
sure.
well with the discussion with just happened. We're glad to be on the council. Obviously, we're building up our presence here in Siskiyou County over these last year. Obviously, the Red Cross is well known for the sheltering that we do during wildfires and such, or evacuations of any type, whether it's wildfires, floods, and such. But we also have quite a few preparedness programs that we're happy to work closely with any of the organizations here, be at your events, be a co-sponsor at events, such as we have the Sound the Alarm program, which is Red Cross will install free smoke detectors in any household that would like them. We also, because of resources, we may also like to partner with organizations such as yours if we have problems getting enough resources to install all the smoke detectors in Etna or some other location that's a little further afield. We have many school and adult programs all the way from the youngest kids. We have Prepare with Pedro. So it sounds like between the organizations in Siskiyou, we have a penguin, a dragon, and now a raccoon when it comes to preparedness images. So we use a penguin, Prepare with Pedro, for the kindergarten through 2nd grade. But we have the Pillowcase Project. We have just general preparedness programs for teenagers, for adults. And so any time you'd like us to come in to talk about them with a group, it doesn't have to be school group, it can be a senior group or a social group. We'll be more than happy to do that. And deliver the program itself, or just pique their interest in maybe having the programs in their schools. And it deals everywhere from home safety, and I do realize a lot of us have overlapping kind of charters or programs, and so obviously we want to sync with whoever we're partnering with to make sure we're not kind of muddying the waters because we're doing one go bag and someone else has another go bag, and we have a third go bag in another booth, to kind of avoid those types of situations. But we talk about evacuations for whether it's floods or wildfires, and some of it is expectations of what would be in a shelter. A lot of people go to shelters thinking that they're going to have maybe more than what we can actually offer. So when we talk about evacuations and go bags, we also put them in the context of what shelters can offer you and what we really can't offer. So all those programs, we're trying to expand the number of community events that we do. There were several that were just mentioned, whether it's fairs, parades, festivals. If we have a booth next to you, be in your booth. But if we're in your booth, make sure we're not muddying the waters by trying to talk about the same thing. You could be talking about one topic and we're focused only on Sound the Alarm, for example, or school education programs. So we can do all types of things like this. I'm your contact for that. And I think we added to the distribution list. And, we've, like I said, we're interested in any type of involvement, and we really appreciate being now integrated into this team. So thanks.
We'd love to have you, Joe. That's just awesome.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jamie.
I was just going to say that, if we can work you into, especially if you want to be involved with at the fair, this year, I think we can work you in, and I think that would be great, and we wouldn't be at cross purposes. I think it would be hitting, it's all in the same pot. So I think that'd be wonderful.
Oh, definitely. We were talking about being at the fair, but I think it's thinking our resources, and we've got good imagery. If it's not being used in a fire, you know, we can bring our Red Cross vehicles and you know, depending whether we're inside or outside. So yeah, we can just talk about the details and kind of go whatever makes sense. You know, kind of examples of things that we're also doing is I was at the Siskiyou Food Assistance Center the last 2 weeks, signing up people for sound the alarm and free smoke detectors. And so if you have any, you know, those types of activities going on in your communities, whether it's directly through the Safety Council or it's, you know, just contacts that you have, we'd be more than happy to have a presence there. So I'm here for you to I guess to use as I can or bring value as I can.
Yeah, it sounds great, Joe. We had a smoke alarm program long time ago, and in October, wildfire awareness, there's 2 of them, smoke alarms and resetting your batteries was the focus. So anyway, or replenishing them. It sounds like we are a match and that we should coordinate together. And I know that Kristen is does a lot of our outreach. So she'll probably be in touch with you to see what we can do to work in unison and in tandem. I think that makes a lot of sense. So
Yeah, and I'll share we put together in collaboration with the other agencies, Forest Service, CAL FIRE, and other nonprofits in Siskiyou County, a wildfire outreach and education event calendar, and I can send that to you. And also we have just a few spots open for booth organizations to have a booth at the Worm Burner golf tournament on June 2nd. So that would be awesome. You guys can have a VIP invitation to that. Hopefully CAL FIRE and Forest Service will be there as well. There's only like 5 spots, but that would be great to have you guys join us then.
Yeah, good idea, Kristen.
Yeah, I appreciate everything. I'm sorry for not showing you a video, but I look pretty hideous. I've been doing 15 straight days of shoveling snow, so
yeah,
I'll give you an image.
Yeah, so do we have your email? We should put you on our email list, and any other contact information. Would you please message to Kristen?
Yes, I sent that.
I got it.
Did you already? Oh, awesome. Very good. And then I saw Mr. Radeso, Gregory.
Yeah, Gregory, I told him he'd be up next. So go ahead, Gregory. Are you still with us?
Yep, I'm still here. Hi, I'm Gregory Randazzo. I'm one of those young voices we were just talking about a little bit ago. I just recently started my own business last year. We worked with CORE and down in Dunsmuir. We were the company that actually did the work on that project. It was a blast. It was fun. I think it was a great example of what can be done and what needs to be done. And, you know, I just want to kind of start getting my voice out there a little more and start getting in touch with people more. And I also wanted to kind of get the idea out there that I am working with a goat herder out of just on the other side of the Oregon border there, that she wants to start getting her goats grazing and stuff like that and keeping them working on fuels reduction projects and things like that. And just kind of developing the workforce of things and just kind of getting things going is our main goal, and working with the community. And I've been told time and time again, go and talk at the fire safe councils. That's where everything's at. So here I am, and I'm happy to be here. And it sounds like we got some really awesome things going on this year and the next couple of years. So
Gregory, a thought just came to my mind concerning the worm burner. They're asking if any of the contractors would like to donate some fuel reduction. Doesn't have to be much, but whatever you think, you know, have your crew come and do something and put that in the auction, and then you get your name out there. I think they give you a little plaque or something and get your name out there as well. And you can give you can do a front yard or something. So
Definitely. That's an awesome idea. I was kind of thinking something along those lines too, and definitely a sound investment there. And also I don't know if I don't think I'm overstepping here, but I'm currently working out in Quartz Valley at the moment, working with their what they're calling a WUI crew right now. Basically, we're just doing defensible space projects and things like that around the reservation. And Henry Case, who's kind of managing that whole project and everything, he's wanting to get into the Fire Safe Council meetings and stuff like that as well, but he couldn't make it today. So I'm kind of sitting in a little bit on that for him as well. So there's kind of that side of things and an update there. We're getting projects going out there and funding. We're hoping to have 2 water tenders running this fire season, full time, hoping to get all of our certifications and quals and things like that. And hopefully we'll have a type 6 fire engine as well. No guarantees there, but we're hoping to get everything funded and get those kind of things in the works. So kind of just a little update there of what we're doing out there too. So
well, thanks
appreciate
for
you guys
sharing.
having me.
Great.
Yeah, thank you, Gregory. Yeah, you were so amazing in Dunsmuir. My kids go to school in Dunsmuir, and I would see you guys cruising around when I'd be coming and going, and it's just a really awesome project. And also, we are hoping to hear we should have already heard about the $10 million grant we co-wrote with CORE to expand the Dunsmuir pilot program to all of Siskiyou County, doing the same thing for the whole county and for the low income elderly residents. So hopefully that comes through. We're glad to have you.
Well,
Attending.
thank you for that.
And the other thing I was gonna give you a little tip on, you might contact Butte County Fire Safe Council or the person that you know that's the goat herder. They have a full blown, I think they have 10 or 11 employees just for their grazing program.
Okay.
They just started it not that long ago, and they're just like really, as Giselle says, going gangbusters with it. It's really successful. And they actually have a grazing festival with, outreach and education for wildfire, mitigation in terms of grazing, March 25th, so 6th. No, I think it's 25th. Saturday down it's in Paradise. So I actually am thinking about going because I just got baby goats. They actually want me to bring my baby goats for the photo booth.
Heck yeah. Well, I will hopefully be able to make it to that one. That sounds awesome. And hopefully my Kim, the gal I'm working with on the goats, hopefully she can make it down too. And that would be awesome. Thank you for letting me know that. And thank you for the kind words.
I don't know who the person is but I'm sure if you just go to Butte County Fire Safe Council's website, there'll be someone to contact that's in charge of the grazing program.
Heck yeah. Well, thank you.
One more
Appreciate it.
thing, McConnell Foundation, which is a great partner, and they supply us mapping and some technical support, also wrote a $10 million grant on the east side of Dunsmuir, going from South Dunsmuir all the way up to North Mount Shasta, to do fuel mitigation in the WUI on that side, not in town, not on private, it's on private land, private forest land. So, and it looks like they're going to get that as well. So we have a lot, we're going to be fire safe here in South County before long, I hope. So anyway.
I'm so glad, Gregory, that you could join us tonight. So welcome.
Happy to be here and thank you for having me.
All right, I think I'm going to ask for if there was anything else anybody wanted to say. If not, our next meeting will be April 12th. And until we can go back in person and do a hybrid, we will continue with Zoom. And then I would see everybody at the next meeting.
Sounds good.
All right. The meeting is adjourned, and have a good evening, everybody.
Thanks, Jamie. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Stay warm and dry.
Yeah. So let me check here. There's something in chat.